Hello campers, this is Nate from Christie's RV. Today we're going to be going through this 1725B Autumn Ridge by Starcraft. I'll start off at the front compartment. On the passenger side here, just up at the front of the compartment, you have a light that you just push the center to turn on. Then inside your compartment, you have the handle for your stabilizer jacks. They also give you a little connection to put on the end of a drill. It does have an end for an impact, but I would suggest to put it on a drill so you're not over torquing your jacks when you put them down. To use your stabilizer jacks, you want to level your trailer front to back, side to side, and then you can put the tool in and then crank your stabilizer jacks down to stabilize your RV. Just beside the front compartment here is your hookup for your solar. So if you have your own solar panel with charger, you can hook it up here and it'll charge your batteries for you. Up at the front of your unit here, you have a manual crank jack. Just behind the jack, you have a 20-pound propane bottle. You can upgrade this 20-pound to a 30 if you wanted to. Just behind the propane tank, you have your battery and the battery back box already hooked up and ready to go. Coming down the driver's side of the unit, first thing you see is the potable water fill. This is where you would fill your water when you're going to travel. If you ever ran out of water, you could use a bucket and a funnel just to get yourself by. After you're done camping and you're ready to travel home and you'd like to drain all your water out so you're not hauling all the weight, just underneath there's a drain that you just put it towards you and it'll drain out your tank. You can drive when that's draining out, it'll just leave a nice water line behind you. Just beside that is the exhaust for your furnace. You just want to make sure if you shove something in there for the winter to pull it out before you fire your furnace up. And just make sure no one put a chair or leaned anything up against the trailer there before you fire up your furnace. Just beside the furnace exhaust is your city water. So this is where you would put a pressurized hose either coming from a campground or a house, and it would just pressurize the system inside your unit so you can use it just like you would a house. Just underneath the city water connection, you'll see a thing that says low point drain. And it'll be a red and a blue line. These are the lowest parts of the lines inside of the unit. So if you had to change a tap or you had a water leak, you could just open these up and it'll drain all the water from the lines so you can change your tap or fitting without making a big mess inside of your unit. Just behind the axle on the driver's side, you have your power cord. It's a 30 amp connection and it's 30 feet long, and when you're done with it, it nicely stores inside of the unit. Just underneath your power cord, you have your sewer outlet. Just before you ever take the cap off, you want to make sure no one walked by and pulled your valves open on you. You don't want to have a nice mess. So you have a gray and a black tank on this unit. The gray is going to be for your sinks and your shower, and then the black is going to be for your toilet. Just above the sewer outlet, you have your cable and satellite input. So this is where you would hook up your own satellite or a cable coming from someone's house or at a campground if they provide you with cable. Back of the unit, you have your spare tire filled up just in case you need it. Just above the spare tire, you have a housing for a camera. You can purchase the camera after, and you just do one screw, put it in. Easy install, and that allows you to see behind your RV while you're driving. Just at the back passenger side, you have the back of your hot water tank. There's not much you have to do inside here. Just when you go to winterize your RV, you want to make sure you let all the pressure off the hot water tank. You can do that either by opening the pressure relief valve to let the pressure in the water off, or open a hot tap inside the RV, and then you can safely take your cap out of your hot water tank. Coming down the passenger side of the RV, you have 110 receptacles. These are GFI protected, so if they ever stop working, first thing I would do is go to your GFI and just reset that, and I'll show you that when we get inside. And let's head inside. Alright, first thing you notice when you come inside the RV is you have your monitor panel and some other switches. The two on and off switches at the top, the one on the left will be for your awning light, and the one on the right is for your interior lights of the unit. Just below that is your monitor panel. At the top is your gray tank, so that will show you how much is in the gray, so that's your sinks and your shower. Below that you have your black, your fresh tank, so fresh is the water you're hauling with you when you're traveling. And then you have your battery at the bottom. Your battery will always stay full when you're plugged in because your converter is charging the battery inside the unit when you're connected to 110. Just below that you have two red switches. The one on the right is going to be for the water pump, so you would flick that on if you're hauling water with you, and that will pressurize the system so you can use your sinks and your shower. And then on the left will be for your hot water tank, and this unit just has it on gas, so you would flick that on, and then about 10 seconds after you'll hear the hot water tank fire up. Beside your monitor panel you have your switch for your awning. To put your awning out, you just want to hit extend. You want to hold the button down until you see the flap of the awning come down. If you hold the button longer, the awning will just start rolling itself up backwards. All you have to do is just press the switch the other way and it'll correct itself. These awnings are not made to stay out in the rain or a heavy windstorm. So if you're going on a four-wheeler ride or to the beach, I suggest they're easy to put in, just put your awning in so you don't come back and it's folded up behind your trailer. These awnings do have a pitch, so if you're sitting outside and it starts to rain a little, you can just pull down in the middle. I gotta use two hands. And it'll put a pitch onto the awning. You never want to push it back up because you can hyperextend the arm. You want to just leave it pulled down and put your awning back in and it'll correct itself. So just below the monitor panel and everything, you have your fire extinguisher. And then just beside your fire extinguisher here, you have your CO detector. So I would press this whenever you go camping. You just press the button just to be safe. Just on the outside of your monitor panel, you have your stereo. Works like any car stereo. Turn it on, you got your Bluetooth, your AM, FM, your auxiliary, and then your pause and play. The only thing that's different is you can pick between your speakers inside or outside. With just zone 1 will be inside, zone 2 will be outside, and you can have them on at the same time and just play your music inside and outside. Just under your stereo you have your dinette. The table goes down into a bed, and then just above your dinette you have a light. Coming into the bed area, you have your TV with a hookup, and then just below your TV you have a big storage area. And then above the bed you have another light with just a push. At the head of the bed here you have an emergency exit. Hopefully you never have to use it, but if you do, you just pull the red handle out, give it a push, and then you can pop the screen out and hop out the window safely. Coming into the kitchen area, just above the sink, once again you have another light. And then your storage. Just one thing, when you go to winterize your trailer, you're gonna have to use your pump. Your pump is located up underneath your bed. You just lift the mattress and then you can get to the pump. This unit has a hose that you would just change the valve. That's right here. It's up underneath, you're not able to see it, but whatever way the valve is turned, that's the way the water is gonna go through. So you would just put this hose into your antifreeze, turn your pump on, change that valve over, and then you'd be able to just pump antifreeze throughout your unit. Outside, I showed you a plug that if it stopped working, you would reset your GFI. Admittedly, kind of a weird place to put it. But to reset your GFI, you would just press the button at the top, and if you wanted to test it, you could just click and then reset it. Coming into the kitchen area, you have your stove top and your microwave. Your microwave, you have to be plugged into shore power 110 for that to work. Just below that, you have your range hood. This works on 12 volt, so you have your fan and your light. Just below your range hood, you have your cooktop. On the very far right, you have a switch for the fancy lights. Shut those off to make it easier. To light your cooktop, you put the handle to what is a flame, and then you click the sparker, and that will light your stovetop, and then you can pick how much heat you would like. Alright, these fridges. These are new fridges from Nordcold. These are 12 volt fridges, so you can run them while you're going down the road and you don't have to worry about the flame going out and then relighting. So to use these fridges, on the left you have your power button, which will turn your fridge on. In the middle you have a screen that will tell you temperature from 1 to 5. And then just beside that you have two buttons that are right beside each other. So the one on the left, the white part shows you that that is the top freezer part. And then the one right here shows you that that's the cabinet of the fridge. So you can pick the temperature you want on those separately. So to get through that, you would just click the one you would like. A blue light will light up underneath it, and then you can pick your temperature of that cabinet separately. And we might as well take a nice look inside of the fridge and freezer. Just beside the refrigerator, you have your thermostat. At the top is the on-off switch. It's hard to push over. You'll feel like you're gonna break it, but just push it over. Then you can set your temperature and your furnace will come on and light up. And then when it gets to the right temperature, it'll shut itself off and then turn itself back on, just like inside your house. For your air conditioner, you have a manual unit on top of the RV. So to turn the AC on, you would just turn the handle to cold and the AC will come on, and then the one you see with the thermometer is where you would set the temperature of the AC inside the unit. On top here you have vents that you can open up to direct the air any way you would like it to go. And then in between the two dials here you have, so you can just open it up to dump straight down instead of coming through the vents that are on the side. Just below your refrigerator you have your power station. So on the left you have all your 110 breakers, and then on the right you will have all your 12 volt fuses. If anything power issue goes wrong, this is the first place I would go. And if it's a 12 volt appliance, I would check all your fuses, or a red light will come on if your fuse is blown. And then your breakers, they will sometimes still look like they're still good, but if you're having problems with anything 110, I'd flip everything off and just flip it back on and see if that helps you before you try to search for anything else. Coming into the bathroom here, you have two switches on the wall. One on the right is for your fan that's up on your vent here. And then the one on the left is the lights inside the bathroom. Last but not least, right before you were to go outside of the unit, you have your storage cabinets. And then just below your storage cabinets, you have an access panel. Behind this access panel is your hot water tank. So when you go to winterize, you would take this panel off to get to your tank and turn the valves to bypass, so you can bypass the tank so you don't fill it up with antifreeze, and you'll be good to go for the winter. And I think that's all for this unit. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to give us a call. And thank you for shopping with us at Christie's.